In section 1.2, we're going to be looking at the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. You can use the converse of the Pythagorean theorem to determine whether a triangle is a right triangle. So if we have triangle ABC, and then we have the sides ABC, also quick note, usually capital letters will denote angles and then lowercase letters will denote sides. So that's what you can kind of see here in this triangle. If side length A squared, if side A and B squared added together equals our longest side squared, that's the Pythagorean theorem. So we would have a right triangle. So again, if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, then that triangle is a right triangle. So here, let's say a triangle has side lengths 85, 84, and 13. Is that triangle a right triangle? What we're going to do here is compare the two smaller sides, this would be 84 and 13, with the biggest side, 85. I want to see, does 13 squared plus 84 squared, how does that match up with 85 squared? If they're equal, that would match the Pythagorean theorem, and I'd have a right triangle. Here I see that on the left, when I add those together, I get 7,225, and 85 squared is also 7,225. So, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and I do have a right triangle there. So let's say that our C squared value doesn't equal A squared plus B squared. So we would have two options here. It's either bigger than or less than. Let's extend that side length C so it looks something like this. Now we would have that C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared. That would mean that triangle ABC is obtuse. On the other hand, let's shrink side length C. Now we would have C squared is less than A squared plus B squared. That would tell me that triangle ABC is acute. So in our last example problem, a triangle has side lengths 6, 11, and 14. Is that acute, right, or obtuse? So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the biggest side with the two smaller sides. I want to see how does 14 squared match up with 6 squared plus 11 squared. Here I see that 14 squared is 196, and 6 squared plus 11 squared is 157. So here we have that C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared. So that triangle would have to be obtuse.